any means possible.
So it's a fascinating game in so many ways, and obviously for that man who has not looked like himself for so much of the season. But Teddy, I think it starts with what in the world happened to the Patriots in the second half last weekend. What, if any, carryover do you expect it to have to tonight?
Yeah, I think the biggest problem the Patriots had last week, I mean, there are some certain players in this league, no matter what the score, they're never dead. And that's Josh Allen. And I think they took their foot off the accelerator a little bit in the second half. Some play calling got a little bit cute. And this Patriot team, it's young, okay? Vrabel's done great things with them this year, but get past their depth a little bit. And if you have some injuries, there are some weakness. I talked about them last week. Milton Williams is still down. Spillane is still down. Right down that middle, fellas. Right. I mean, stopping the run, those type of things. This is the time of year, though, the Patriots know it, the Ravens know it. It doesn't matter how it looks anymore. Get the win any way you can to stay alive in the playoffs. That's what both of these teams are looking for.
You know, I think you're just going to get really a pissed-off New England Patriots team because what we saw in the first half and the team that we saw in the second half was two totally different teams. And one thing that I said last week was the Patriots coming off the bye. How would they look with four quarters of football? But I'm looking at what I saw last week. Could it go into Baltimore? Is Travion Henderson, the running back, only 3 carries last week in the second half? Brew, you talked about getting cute with the play calling. This man, the only highlight was the big run last week in the second half. But if you go 4 quarters, they didn't rely on the run game. They didn't rely on Travion Henderson because I think that a game like this, Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, to be able to slow the game down, to keep this Patriots defense on the field because of those injuries today, I like what I see. I'm waiting to see if this running game can go for 4 quarters.
I tell you what, I mean, I've been on Vrabel as like this is the coach of the year, and Josh McDaniels, phenomenal job of coaching. Coaching let that team down last week.
Yeah, no doubt.
100% let it down. You had 3 rush attempts in the second half when you're up by, 20-something, nothing, and you had 3 rush attempts. That's absolutely absurd. And Josh McDaniels knows better, so does Vrabel. They got to be kicking themselves after giving this thing away. But they're facing the Ravens so they can get right. Oh, yeah? Be careful. Be careful. Because you talk about the kid, the defense tackle not being in there.
Milton Williams.
Milton Williams. Mm-hmm. They haven't been worth a darn at stopping a run since he's left. Yeah. And now Spillane's out. So I expect a ton of Derrick Henry. All right? And here's what I don't expect. Lamar Jackson. Mm-hmm. Lamar Jackson is not even close to being the quarterback we've seen in the past. And the biggest thing to me is where's the rushing? Like, he hadn't had gain over 10 yards, scrambling or running with the football. And look, Jared Goff has a rushing attack as a carry of 20 yards. Yeah. Where the hell has Lamar Jackson been?
He didn't.
He's not there.
I hear you, and he's obviously been injured and playing through injuries each week, missing practices. But he didn't really have to run the ball last week. I mean, this is an offense. They ran the ball for over 10 yards a carry last week against the Bengals, right? 24-0. So hopefully he's a little healthier. But I do think they're going to need him today, right? Especially against this Patriots defense. And I think this is going to be an old school type of game. I mean, these are 2 teams, especially offensively, that pride themselves on running the football. I think the Patriots are sick over last week. I mean, they had 3 rushing touchdowns in the first half. And then you only run the ball 3 times in the second half. And again, it's just math. It's literally just math. Just run the ball, and all of a sudden you don't give Josh Allen a chance. And again, they got to be sick. But the Ravens, listen, their backup is against the wall. Their margin of error is so small. Their schedule is ridiculous right here going forward. And again, this, I hate to say it, but you're in must-win territory here. They got to get it done at home today.
The levels of maturity of teams, when you have the opportunity to take care of business, you do it. You got a division on the line, you get it done. You get those hats and T-shirts. I mean, New England, these players have to realize you're not going to have too many more chances. That has to be done today.
But those players have to realize it. But you know what? We're so used to them being, this is the New England Patriots. They're familiar with this. Not this group.
Yeah, it's a different group. Yeah, Rex, you're right. It's a different group.
Baltimore's familiar with it, and New England isn't. And that's where I'm going to lean on the championship medal or the playoff medal of the Baltimore Ravens in this one here. Look, this game's not played on paper. All right? This is about it. Baltimore, I get it. They had their best defensive performance. They had a shutout last week against Cincinnati, albeit they got the ball drove all over them, but they still had the shutout. Yeah. So, to me, Now we're going. It's late in the season. This team's been there before, where New England, quite honestly, hasn't.
On an encouraging note, their pass rush looked much better last week. That's the Baltimore Ravens. They actually got disruptive, caused some turnovers, got some takeaways. And if they do that today, they got a chance.
If the Ravens lose this game, they'd be putting themselves in a position where they might have to win at Green Bay next week. Otherwise, the final week of the season might mean nothing. Let's show you what it is. The Ravens are 1 game behind the Steelers in the North, 3 weeks to go. There's a good chance Week 18 will decide the division. If Baltimore wins tonight and the Steelers lose against the Lions, then frankly next week's games don't mean anything. The winner of Week 18 would take the North. But again, if the Ravens lose this game tonight, they may be in a position where they have to win next week to make Week 18 meaningful. Then there's Josh Allen and the Bills. They're in Cleveland today following that 21-point comeback against the Patriots last week, largest of his career. Allen enters the week tied for the most total touchdowns in the league. Bills clinch a playoff spot with a win and a loss by either the Texans. All right, as he was talking, Teddy, what did you say that sounds like to you?
Yeah, he's talking like a man that's done. And it's what a career. What an honor to watch him. I'll say it right now, even before his announcement, that player in Travis Kelce gave us so much joy watching him, myself as an analyst, one of the best tight ends I have ever seen, ultimate champion. You hear him speak right there, it just sounds like a winner.
Yep.
Yeah, no, there's no question. The only thing that is too bad in this, you'd love to see him that last game go off the field with his quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. Unfortunately, that's not the way it's going to be. But, man, this guy, I mean, it's a first-ballot Hall of Fame player, but the energy and passion he brought to that organization, man, I mean, if this is it, man, good for you.
Yep. For the record, he's not officially announced that he's going to retire. It certainly did sound like he was leaning in that direction. That said, Alex, you know that team, you know that organization, you know these people well. They will rebuild around Patrick Mahomes. Do you believe this is a total rebuild, or is this, a little remodeling and we got to do the upstairs bathroom kind of thing?
Yeah,
what are we looking at?
Yeah, this is a minor little facelift thing. You know, like, listen, this isn't a bunch of work they're going to have to do. They don't need to blow this thing up at all. They've invested a ton in this young offensive line, and obviously the key thing here is obviously Patrick, right? 30 years old. This guy is several years still in his prime. Going to come back. I think they keep this thing together. I think there are going to be some changes, though, right? There are some aging pieces on that roster that I think they're going to have to do. And the thing for me that I think that's really been missing, especially from them offensively, and I just think back to, signature Andy Reid offense, even going back to Philly, Brian Westbrook, this receiving threat running back out of the backfield, a guy you could get in matchups. When he came to Kansas City, Jamal Charles, right?
Yeah.
This guy was unstoppable. You could get him on linebackers, obviously dynamic. Play could be explosive. They just haven't had that element there, and I would love to see them, right? Obviously, Kareem Hunt, aging. They've had Pacheco. I think that's something that if they get the opportunity to go out and address, I think they will.
I think when Patrick Mahomes comes back to this game, just me, the outside looking in, I think we talk about guys coming back from a major injury. And coming back that following year, you always hear me talking about the confidence of the player. How long will it take for him to get his confidence up under him? And Patrick Mahomes, he's been running for his life all season. So you're talking about the skilled players, the skilled guys maybe need some change. You said they brought some young guys in for this offensive line. Yep. Maybe they need to bring some more protection in here for a guy like Patrick Mahomes, because I think the biggest question mark for me is when did this man get back to being Patrick Mahomes, and I think confidence will be a
Randy,
play a big
you and I
factor.
were talking about it last night about how you like the speed of these receivers, with Worthy,
Rice, yes,
and Hollywood Brown.
Right.
They got speed. Well, when that speed shows up? When you run play action. All right? In the run play action, you got to be committed to running the football. I think they got to go back to being more balanced as a football team and be able to pound that football. That can heavy up the protection and, quite honestly, use that speed. You don't have the Travis Kelce out there possibly next time. So I would like to see him get rid of the carpet, put some hardwoods down, and let's run the football.
Listen, I think they invested up front. I know maybe it didn't bear fruit this year, Randy, with the protection, but I think even the run game on that note, this is a young offensive line that will just get better together. And so hopefully we see a couple of those things moving forward.
Back in
a quarterback that relies a lot on scrambling, that's coming off an ACL. Does it also involve Patrick and the way that he plays the game, and now it has to be now more from the pocket and just on a much smaller percentage is he out there doing Gumby-like things?
If he's going to make a run at Brady, he's going to need a whole second act. He's going to need to stay healthy through the entirety of that, and so maybe it will involve changing the style in which he plays. All right, on we go. We got a quarterback, another quarterback who plays with a reckless style. Baker Mayfield ready to go today as the Bucs are looking for a second act in Carolina. Winner of this game takes over the first place in the division in the NFC South. And